Welcome back. Media students at institutes of higher learning are getting more help to adapt to a rapidly changing industry. Schools are partnering up to 50% more organizations than before in a bid to help them navigate new trends brought on by tech and AI. Bahajjaj reports.
Already knew what you wanted.
This class is one of many at Ngee Ann Polytechnic that are developed with industry partners. They include media and telcos and are among the 25% rise in collaborations the school has made over the last year. Students explore new materials such as microdramas and filmmaking with AI.
The challenge is keeping our students adaptable and relevant and inventive in a way. How we do that is by involving industry quite heavily in our curriculum. Because industry is at the forefront, right, of this change. The more we and our students are exposed to industry, the more that can inform us about what direction it's going.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1.
Over at Temasek Polytechnic, it's keeping up with industry demands. From 2026, it's introducing a combined AI and data analytics course for first-year students.
We find that our companies, our organizations, what they want is not just content creators, but content creators who are AI literate, who are data savvy, so they know how to collect data and what to make use of the data to help them with their content strategy.
For Nanyang Technological University's School of Art, Design and Media, local and global partnerships have been ramped up by 50% since 2024. It gives students more opportunities in areas such as tech, game design and social media. While technology like AI is part of its curriculum, it's making sure the arts remain center stage.
The artistic foundation remains central, because if you don't have this foundation, you would later on really struggle to identify the good solutions between many a tool like generative AI would offer, and you would be quite lost, right? Because you get so much things, so many different outcomes, and how do you distinguish the wheat from the chaff, if you will?
LaSalle College of the Arts is embracing innovation in a similar vein. With AI, immersive tech and new media already in its courses, it's looking to add things like analytics and revenue aggregation, all while making sure media students are anchored in what's arguably timeless qualities of storytelling.
Stories matter. In any form of story, whether you tell a news story, you tell a documentary, whether you're going to do a TikTok video, stories matter. And over time, people are going to come back and say, what kind of stories are we telling? Not only stories, but stories plus creativity engine economies. Because when they engine economies, they inspire communities to follow through into the next generation.
A recent 3-year partnership with MediaCorp will also see LaSalle students collaborate on fields such as documentaries and design ideas.
So to answer the question on whether AI is going to help us be better informed, I'm joined by Professor Edson Tandoc Jr. He is the director at the Centre for Information Integrity and the Internet, or InCube, at the Wee Kim Wee School of Communication and Information at NTU Singapore. Professor Tandoc, we saw their students embark on all kinds of partnership. How urgent is this demand for AI-trained content creation for the future?
I think it's very urgent. We see in the industry, they're using AI. AI technology is also evolving rapidly. And so I think we really need to catch up. I mean, learning the tools would be easy, but I think teaching our students how to use it responsibly without compromising their learning and creativity, I think that's more pressing.
You used the phrase there, catch up. So I wonder, is this pace of change something education can realistically keep up with? Or, as you mentioned, will it always be a game of catch up?
I think it's there are research that's being done in the universities, including NTU. So we have some ability to also predict where the industry is going to. But again, the industry is also very fast when it comes to innovating and changing technologies. There will always be a game of catching up. But I think, yeah, with the research that we're doing, I think we're able to anticipate some things as well.
You know, it's interesting because you're talking about content creators, creative professionals. I wonder, what is the key then to ensuring that when you train future content creators and media professionals, how do you train them to use AI responsibly without sacrificing or losing their creativity?
This is really the challenge. I teach writing classes at NTU. I teach news writing specifically, and I always remind my students that we cannot outsource everything to the machine. For you to be able to assess whether AI-generated output is of good quality, you need to know what quality means. You need to get into a manual experience to learn what goes into quality reporting before you can assess AI-generated output. So we need to put in the time to do it manually first before we can assess whether AI output meets that standard.
As students learn to create content using AI, what do you see as some of the new risks that are emerging, and what that poses then for things like misinformation or manipulated media?
I'm glad that you brought this up. Recently, we brought in 40 student content creators from Southeast Asia for a new fellowship program for Southeast Asia student content creators. And they're very good with technology. They're very good with content creation. They're very creative. They are very quick to learn the tools. But there are also issues that they may not be very familiar with. For example, we talked about copyright, like how do you ensure that you retain copyright for the things that you produce. But two, also is being misled by misinformation that's created using AI. And also some of them have also been in a way fallen victims to AI. I think there were some student content creators who shared with us that some misuse their photo or even their voice into creating fake content and misleading their followers. So I think making sure that students and young content creators really keep up with all these challenges. I think that's very important.
Yeah, there has to be that, that regulatory knowledge as well, which itself is catching up. So I wonder, what responsibility do you feel the other stakeholder in all this is, the media companies, the tech platforms have when young creators enter an AI-driven content space?
Yeah. A lot of these tools, I think what we need to learn from how our experiences with information and communication technologies in the past is that there are instances where they are used for purposes other than that what they were intended for. They can be misused. I think that mindfulness on the part of tech developers, the tech platforms, I think they need to be mindful that these things can be misused, and they should anticipate that. And on the other side, we also need to, in a way, what we call inoculate, audiences, but also content creators, so that they are prepared to tackle these challenges. They have to be equipped not only with the tools, not only with the technology, but also with the training, this mindfulness. How do we instill the right motivations that if you have this tool, you use it, to produce quality and accurate content, and not to misuse it to take shortcuts or even create things that are not true.
Really appreciate your thoughts and for joining us this hour. Thank you, Professor Edson Tandoc Jr. from the Wee Kim Wee School of Communication and Information at NTU Singapore.